The financial world is spinning with shockwaves as a sensational claim shoots across social platforms. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has allegedly stepped up to a podium, stared directly into the cameras, and publicly blasted the US Federal Reserve with the boldest proclamation in fintech history, declaring that XRP is fully prepared to replace the US dollar by 2026. The hype-fueled narrative paints a cinematic moment. A packed conference hall, reporters scrambling. Garlinghouse slamming the table and announcing that the era of dollar dominance has reached its expiration date. According to the dramatic framing, he challenges the Fed's slow progress on digital transformation, accusing the US central bank of crippling innovation by dragging its feet on instant settlement, programmable money, and blockchain-driven liquidity. In this fictionalized hype scenario, he warns that global markets will not wait for the United States to modernize. The speech crescendos into a declaration that XRP, fast, neutral, borderless, and free from centralized monetary manipulation, is ready to become the default instrument for global clearing. Rumors swirling around this fabricated event insist that Brad openly declared XRP the superior replacement to the dollar, that financial institutions are preparing a migration plan, and that the year 2026 marks the official transition from USD-centric dominance to blockchain-based liquidity rails. The storyline spreads with viral force. Narrators claim that billions of dollars in daily settlement will migrate to XRP, that central banks are negotiating behind the scenes, and that Garlinghouse has defiantly positioned Ripple at the center of a global financial evolution. In the hype version of the story, this moment becomes a historic turning point where Ripple confronts the Federal Reserve directly, igniting a countdown to the end of fiat supremacy. The imagery intensifies, headlines broadcasting a seismic shift, analysts warning of a revolution in global monetary architecture, and markets bracing for a future where XRP becomes the backbone of international liquidity. The dramatization amplifies the stakes to an almost mythic scale, portraying Brad as a renegade CEO, pulling the curtain off an outdated financial regime, and announcing that Ripple's technology is fully prepared to take the dollar's place on the world stage. Dramatic headlines, analyst commentary, and market visualizations depict XRP as the backbone of international liquidity. Yet this entire sensational confrontation is fiction. Brad Garlinghouse has never declared XRP a replacement for the US dollar, nor has he publicly blasted the Federal Reserve with any ultimatum about 2026. No official statements, speeches, or interviews support the claim that XRP is positioned to dethrone the US dollar or assume the role of a sovereign national currency. The real Brad Garlinghouse operates within regulatory frameworks, emphasizes compliance, and speaks with precision about Ripple's goals, which revolve around improving financial infrastructure, not overthrowing existing monetary systems. The actual verifiable statements he has made highlight a different, far more grounded reality. The global transition toward digital assets is accelerating. Financial institutions are adopting blockchain at increasing speed, and the world is moving toward tokenized money. In numerous interviews, he underscores that digital assets are becoming inevitable components of the future financial architecture, especially for cross-border payment rails, and that Ripple is shaping that transition through enterprise-grade solutions rather than dramatic challenges to sovereign currencies. This is where the real story becomes far more substantial than the hype. While Brad never declared XRP a dollar replacement, Ripple is indeed preparing for a major inflection point in 2026, but it has nothing to do with replacing fiat. Instead, the true development is Ripple's expansion of its ecosystem through the XRPL, including the rollout of RLUSD, Ripple's regulated US dollar-backed stablecoin, designed to bring deeper liquidity, increased utility, and institutional compatibility to the XRP ledger. This stablecoin is projected to play a major role in Ripple's on-demand liquidity operations, enabling faster settlement, improved liquidity management, and seamless movement of tokenized value across borders. Ripple's ecosystem is expanding, with the XRP ledger, or XRPL, at its core. The introduction of RLUSD is set to play a pivotal role, supporting new use cases and driving broader adoption throughout the network. Far from challenging the dollar, Ripple is actually deploying a dollar-denominated asset into its ledger to enhance United States dollar liquidity across a blockchain-based settlement network. This move positions RLUSD as a core component of Ripple's strategy for 2026, offering banks and financial partners a compliant, reliable, institution-friendly method of bridging fiat with on-chain liquidity. In this context, Brad's real message becomes clear. The future of finance is hybrid, combining fiat-backed digital assets, decentralized liquidity tokens like XRP, and regulated stablecoins that interact across a shared ledger. RLUSD is designed to enhance dollar liquidity, serving as a bridge between traditional fiat and on-chain liquidity. This integration supports a more seamless, efficient flow of value across both worlds, strengthening Ripple's vision for the future of finance. As we delve into the realm of enterprise adoption, we see a significant rise in on-demand liquidity volume. Financial institutions are increasingly integrating blockchain-based solutions, marking a pivotal shift in the industry. In the United States, stablecoins are emerging as a compliant path to modernization. Ripple, rather than bypassing the dollar, is enhancing its position by providing institutions with a digital form of USD. This digital currency flows instantly across a global blockchain network, making XRP even more valuable. It's not about replacing currencies, but serving as the settlement bridge between digital fiat assets across various jurisdictions. Now let's talk about the contrast between hype and reality. The hype narrative envisions a dramatic confrontation, Brad Garlinghouse challenging the Federal Reserve, declaring Ripple's readiness to topple the USD, and gearing up for a global financial rebellion. However, the reality is quite different. Ripple is optimizing global liquidity by aligning with regulatory frameworks, integrating stable coins, building tokenized financial systems, and expanding enterprise-grade settlement rails. Brad consistently emphasizes that blockchain is here to complement existing currencies, not overthrow them. He highlights inefficiencies in the current system, advocates for clarity to unlock innovation, and reinforces that XRP's purpose is liquidity, not sovereignty. Ripple's mission is upgrading the outdated plumbing of global money movement, not replacing national currencies. As the narrative flows into its deeper examination, the contrast between hype and reality becomes a powerful tool for understanding the future of finance. The hype storyline plays into a widespread emotion, the fantasy of a single digital asset rising to global dominance and rewriting the entire economic map. It capitalizes on frustration with inflation, centralized control, slow-moving financial regulators, and geopolitical uncertainty. It frames Ripple as a challenger to entrenched systems, but the reality narrative demonstrates that true transformation arises not from dramatic rebellion, but from strategic integration. Strategic integration, rather than bold disruption, is what really drives lasting change in the financial world. By working within existing frameworks, Ripple and XRP aim to enhance efficiency and accessibility, not overturn the system entirely. This approach grounded for both, but is soon where ground in collaboration and practicality is what sets the stage for meaningful progress. The world is moving toward tokenized dollars, tokenized euros, tokenized yuan, and interoperable digital settlement networks. XRP becomes the connective tissue, not the replacement organ. Ripple's strategic direction for 2026 aligns with macro trends. Central banks are experimenting with central bank digital currencies. Commercial banks are exploring blockchain settlement, asset managers are tokenizing real-world assets, payment companies are adopting instant settlement rails. Ripple is building an interoperable ecosystem to support all of this. The XRPL's evolution, the introduction of RLUSD, the expansion of liquidity corridors, and the increasing regulatory clarity for XRP collectively create the conditions for massive adoption, without any need for a provocative declaration against the Federal Reserve. Over time, we've seen the XRPL evolve in ways that honestly few could have predicted. The introduction of